We're about to pull up to a trespassing call. Two individuals, a male and a female, camping on someone else's property. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
The reason I'm making contact with you today is because someone reported that you were trespassing here.
Trespassing?
Yes, do you have the name of the owner?
You said what?
What's the name of the owner?
Oh, the owner of what?
The property?
I don't know.
Okay, so he says you're trespassing here.
Most people believe they can talk their way out of a police stop. Some stay calm, some tell the truth, and some choose to lie. Usually it's about something small, where they're coming from, who owns the car, whether they have anything illegal inside. But in this case, one simple question triggered a chain of events that completely changed the outcome. Because while the driver insisted he wasn't on probation,
To the side.
Ma'am?
No.
Back up.
No. Detain means you're gonna be put to the side.
Back up. You're gonna get yourself fucked up.
the officers were already checking information he couldn't hide. Within minutes, a routine stop would turn into a physical arrest, and one lie would become the biggest mistake of the day. This is what happened.
Do you have your driver's license and your registration with you, please?
Yeah.
Sir, do you have your driver's license? Sir, do you have your driver's license or ID? Can you roll the window all the way down, please?
Not on me, no sir.
You don't have an ID on you? Do
No, sir.
you have anything with your name on it?
Okay, that's brown. That works.
What's your first name?
AJ?
That's your legal first name is AJ?
AJ?
Okay, what's your last name?
Jackson?
Okay, and your date of birth?
December 13th, 1987.
Okay, do you have the registration and insurance, ma'am?
I don't got no registration.
You got no registration?
No.
Is the car registered?
No.
Okay. Why is the car not registered?
I don't know.
At first glance, nothing about this stop appeared unusual. No one was yelling. No one was running. There were no flashing signs that something was about to go wrong. Just officers making contact, asking routine questions, and trying to understand exactly who they were dealing with.
Step all the way out. I'm all playing with you. Get on your face. Put your hands behind your back. Palm up. Palm up behind your back.
This is how thousands of police encounters begin every single day. Calm, professional, predictable. But experienced officers know that appearances can be misleading. Some of the most dangerous encounters don't start with violence. They start with ordinary conversation.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, go ahead and step out for me.
For what?
Well, right now I'm smelling an odor of marijuana in the vehicle, and this gentleman here has failed to provide me with an ID. I ran his name, it comes back with nothing. So until I can identify who this guy is, okay?
Yeah, but there's no reason for him to be detained.
The reason to be detained is the fact that he gave me a false name. So until I find out his real name, we're gonna go ahead and detain you. No, you're gonna stay in the car.
For how long?
Until I tell you to. I'm in control of this situation, not y'all, okay?
Too much right now.
If you refuse to get out of the vehicle,
Okay, so
A, you're gonna be charged additionally.
How long is he gonna be
Until I
detained for?
figure out his name. And if he doesn't have any warrants, he'll be let go.
Notice how the officers aren't rushing the interaction. They're listening, observing, watching body language just as closely as the answers they're receiving. Every pause, every hesitation, every change in tone can tell officers something that words don't. Good policing isn't just about asking questions, it's about recognizing when the answers don't fit the facts.
Are you gonna step out of the car?
Yeah. Yes,
Step out of the car and face that way. Face that way.
Man.
Put your hands behind your back or I will dump you. I promise you can.
Detained is being put to the
You
side.
come over here getting tased. I promise you.
Means you're being put
I
to the
promise
side.
you. Yeah, he's,
Detained means you're being put to the side. Detained
you're gonna
means
get
you're gonna
pronged.
be put to the side.
You will fucking plank out.
Detain means you're gonna be put to the side.
Ma'am?
No.
Back up.
No. Detain means you're gonna
Back.
be put to the side.
Back up. Stop. You're gonna get yourself fucked up.
Then comes a question that sounds almost routine. Are you on probation? It's a straightforward question, one that gives the driver an opportunity to be honest, and for a moment, the answer seems confident. No. No hesitation, no uncertainty, just a direct denial. To the average person, that answer might have ended the conversation, but officers rarely rely on words alone because they have another source of information, one that's far more difficult to fool. While the conversation continues, dispatch is already doing what dispatch does best: checking databases, confirming identities, searching criminal records. It's a process that happens quietly, often without the person even realizing it's taking place, and once those records begin coming back, the entire direction of the stop can change in seconds.
You mind shutting the car off? Let's shut the car off and start there.
Wait, can you run my license first, maybe?
I'm gonna run the license. We're just gonna shut the car off and start there.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna go back and run it while you shut the car off.
okay, I'll start the car. I'll stop the car, but you can go ahead and.
That's what I'm gonna do. Shut the car. Don't roll your window up and shut the car off. Just shut the car off. Awesome. It's not that hard. Okay. Minimum, you're trespassing and you have an unregistered vehicle. Just means you can't drive it out of here. Doesn't mean I need to tow it or anything like that. I'm gonna run you. I'll be right back. Is there anything I need to be concerned about in the car?
No.
Okay. Who's Timothy?
Timothy's my son.
Is your son? Okay. All right.
Many people assume officers already know everything before they approach a vehicle. In reality, most information arrives after the stop begins. That's why officers ask questions they may already suspect the answer to, not to trick someone, but to compare what's being said with what's being verified. Sometimes the answers match perfectly. Other times, they don't. At this point, the officers aren't accusing anyone of lying. They're simply waiting for confirmation, waiting for dispatch, waiting for the facts. Because in law enforcement, facts matter far more than assumptions. And within moments, those facts would begin telling a very different story. This is the turning point most viewers miss. Nothing dramatic happens. No one raises their voice. No one makes a sudden move. But behind the scenes, the investigation has already entered a new phase. The driver's statement has been recorded, the records are still loading, and the officers are preparing for two possible outcomes. Either the driver told the truth, or he didn't. Only one of those answers can be correct. Within seconds, dispatch is about to deliver information that neither the driver nor the audience can take back. For a few more moments, nothing changes. The driver continues talking. The officers continue listening. If you didn't know what dispatch was doing in the background, you'd probably think this stop was almost over. But behind every routine traffic stop is a system built to verify information, not simply accept it. Names become records, records become history, and history has a way of catching up. Watch the officers closely. They don't accuse him. They don't argue. They don't even suggest that he's being dishonest. Instead, they wait. Because experienced officers understand something most people don't. When someone lies, the truth often arrives on its own. You don't have to chase it. You simply have to let the facts speak first. Most people think dispatch only checks for warrants. In reality, a records check can reveal much more. Driver's license status, probation or parole conditions, prior arrests, protective orders, outstanding warrants, vehicle registration. Every piece of information helps officers understand who they're dealing with and what legal authority they have moving forward. There it was, the confirmation the officers had been waiting for. The records didn't match the driver's answer. Just minutes earlier, he had confidently denied being on probation. Now, that statement had become the biggest problem in the entire encounter. Not because the officers were surprised, but because trust disappears the moment facts and words no longer match. This changes more than the conversation. It changes the officer's assessment of the situation. If someone is willing to lie about something that can be verified in seconds, What else might they be hiding? Illegal drugs? Weapons? A warrant? Another passenger's identity? Officers don't assume the worst, but they also can't ignore what they've just learned. One confirmed lie forces them to question every answer that came before it. Listen carefully. The tone begins to shift. Not dramatically, just enough to notice. The casual conversation is fading. The questions become more direct. The officers become more focused. This is often the point where people make a critical mistake. Instead of accepting the situation, they begin arguing with reality. But arguing doesn't change what's already been confirmed. The records are the records, and the officers now have to act on them. Every police encounter has what investigators sometimes call a decision point, a moment where the outcome can still go in two completely different directions. This was one of those moments. The driver still had options: stay calm, follow instructions, let the legal process play out, or turn a paperwork problem into a physical confrontation. Unfortunately, the next decision would determine how the rest of this encounter was remembered. One of the biggest misconceptions about police work is that officers enjoy making arrests. In reality, most officers would rather resolve a situation peacefully than use force. A cooperative arrest is safer for everyone involved. Less risk, less injury, less chaos. That's why officers continue giving clear instructions even after they know an arrest is coming. They're giving the person every opportunity to choose cooperation. The officers had confirmed the facts. The driver knew the conversation had changed. Neither side could go back to where the stop began. Now, everything depended on one final choice. Would he cooperate, or would he resist? For the last several minutes, this encounter had been built on conversation, questions, answers, verification. Now, that phase was over. The officers had confirmed what they needed to know. The driver had been given multiple opportunities to be honest, and with the facts now verified, their responsibility changed. The next step wasn't optional. It was procedural.
Notice something important. Nobody is yelling. Nobody is acting emotionally. The officers aren't punishing the driver for lying. They're simply carrying out the next legal step. From the outside, an arrest can look sudden, but in reality, this moment was built one decision at a time. Every question, every answer, every records check, every confirmation. They all led here.
Experienced officers know that the first few seconds of an arrest are often the most unpredictable. Some people immediately comply. Others freeze. Some ask questions, and a small number decide to resist. The officers never know which response they're about to get. That's why every movement becomes deliberate, every position matters, every second counts. Then, everything changed. Instead of following instructions, the driver made a decision. It happened in only a few seconds, but those few seconds completely changed the direction of the encounter. What could have been a routine arrest was becoming a physical confrontation. And once resistance begins, the officers have only one priority: regain control, as quickly and as safely as possible. This is where training takes over. Notice how each officer immediately knows where to move. One controls the upper body, another protects against sudden movements, another watches the surroundings. To someone watching online, it may appear chaotic. To the officers, it's controlled teamwork. Every movement has one purpose: end the resistance before someone gets hurt. One of the biggest myths about police work is that force is the objective. It isn't. Control is. The faster officers establish control, the sooner force ends. That's why officers continue giving commands even during the struggle. They're still offering the suspect the chance to stop resisting. Because the moment compliance begins, the need for force begins to disappear. Within moments, the balance shifted. The officers regained control. The suspect's resistance began to fade. What had started as a verbal encounter had reached its conclusion. The handcuffs were secured. The immediate danger was over. Many viewers believe handcuffs mean the incident is finished. For officers, it's actually the beginning of another phase, checking for injuries, searching for evidence, securing the scene, documenting every action. Because everything that happens after an arrest will later become part of the official case record. The confrontation lasted only moments, but its outcome had been shaped by decisions made long before anyone resisted. The first question, the first answer, the first lie. Each one pushed this encounter one step closer to where it ultimately ended. With the suspect finally in custody, the most dangerous part of the encounter was over. The adrenaline slowly faded, the shouting stopped, the struggle ended. But for the officers, the job was only halfway finished. Because making an arrest and proving a case are two very different things. Every action from this point forward would need to be documented. Every item collected, every statement recorded, every decision explained. Not for social media, not for the cameras, but for the courtroom. Every lawful arrest is followed by a systematic search, not to punish the suspect, but to protect everyone involved. Officers search for weapons, illegal narcotics, evidence connected to other crimes, or anything that could become dangerous during transport. Most searches reveal nothing unusual. Others completely change the direction of the investigation. That's why officers never skip this step. They follow the same procedure every single time. Notice the pace. Only minutes earlier, the scene was filled with movement. Now, everything is slower, calmer, more methodical. That's the difference between surviving the moment and documenting it. Professional investigations don't end with excitement, they end with precision. Body camera footage often captures only what viewers can see, but investigators are focused on something much larger: the timeline, the evidence, the legal justification for every action, every radio transmission, every body cam angle, every officer's report. Together, they create the complete picture. Not a highlight reel, but a case file. Looking back, the arrest didn't begin when the handcuffs came out. It didn't begin when officers stepped forward, and it didn't begin when the suspect resisted. It began much earlier, the moment one simple question was answered with one simple lie. Are you on probation? No. That answer lasted only a few seconds. The official records would last forever. One decision destroyed credibility, and once trust disappeared, the entire encounter changed with it. Police officers expect people to be nervous. They expect mistakes. They even expect confusion. What they don't ignore is verified information. When facts and statements no longer match, the investigation moves in a different direction. And that's exactly what happened here. This encounter wasn't defined by violence, it was defined by decisions. The officers made the decision to investigate. Dispatch made the decision to verify. The driver made the decision to lie. Then he made another decision, to resist. Each choice narrowed the number of possible outcomes until only one remained. A routine stop had become an arrest. Not because everything happened at once, but because every decision led to the next. That's what body camera footage often reveals, not just what happened, but why it happened. And sometimes, the smallest decision becomes the one that changes everything. If you enjoy documentary-style breakdowns that go beyond the footage and explain the decisions behind real police encounters, subscribe to Blueline Files. New Bodycam documentaries every week, because every case tells a story, and every decision leaves evidence.